What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you have your post notifications turned on so that you'll be notified every time I drop another video. Also, guys, make sure you click the links in the description down below. Follow me on all my social media accounts. I also have the Country Kids Playhouse channel linked in the description down below as well. Also, guys, check your settings on your phones. For some reason, YouTube is not pushing out my content. It's not notifying you guys that I'm dropping content, which I've been dropping like 1-minute videos, maybe 3-minute videos, but it doesn't matter. You guys should still get notified that I am dropping. I went live 3 times Saturday, and it was 0 people in there, and y'all know that that is not normal at all. Like, normally when I go live, the first minute or so, I at least have about 100 people, but for some reason something weird is going on. So I've been really active on my other channels. I've been uploading more on the Country Kids Playhouse channel. Now, guys, I had a really important exam that I had. Actually, I had like 5 exams yesterday that I had to complete, that I didn't get done with until like 12:30 this morning. So I did go live on one of my other platforms yesterday. I went twice. So I would just be going live over there because YouTube is tripping. But that's fine. Like I said, we in the rebuilding stage, so I'm not really too concerned about that, because what's going to happen is what's going to happen, as long as I remain true to myself and keep God first. But as I was on my other platforms, we did like a live Q&A, and I still may post that one, but I'm pretty sure that my responses will be different from over here. Not that I'm 2 different people, it's just that I don't remember everything that was said, and that live was like almost 2-3 hours long. So yeah, I'ma just like re-answer the questions for you guys. They were some really good questions, I thought so anyways, and they're more active on my other platforms anyway. So let me look over some of the questions. One of the questions was, what advice can you give someone going through hard times? And like I always tell myself, and I've been told this before, and it does make sense, nothing stays the same at all. So if you look at your current situation last year, either 2 things: either it got worse or it got better. And that's because nothing stays the same. Like, I hate to reference P. Diddy, but eventually something is going to end up changing. Either you're going to be on top, and then if you didn't do right by people, you're going to be on the bottom. Or you're going to be on the bottom, and because you stayed true to yourself, and because you did right by people, and because you put God first, you're going to be the ones on top. So hard times do not last always. Trouble don't last always. Storms don't last always. You either preparing to walk into a storm, in the middle of a storm, or leaving out of a storm, okay? And a lot of times everybody is walking into a storm, but we don't know. And it's not the storm that can destroy us, it's how we deal with it. When you're in the middle of the storm, it may feel like, hey, things is never gonna change, like this is always gonna be your situation. And that's not necessarily true, okay? It's not true. And could you imagine all those people that's in the grave right now because they felt like their situation wasn't gonna get better, not knowing that all they had to do was just live another day or 2 and things would have gotten better. And then when we walk out of the storm, we feel so relieved. We feel like, oh my God, this has been going on 5-10 years, but I didn't give up. And that's the key, just not giving up and just pressing forward, and just also reminding yourself that there's somebody out there going through a way harder time than you. Just keep going. Whatever you do, don't give up. And I constantly battle with that, because I have always been a hard worker, and I've gotten slowed down because I've had kids. But then I started thinking, I'm like, well, maybe, what if I haven't slowed down because I've had kids? what if I've actually sped up because I've had multiple kids, and I have multiple smaller kids that either cannot talk, cannot use the bathroom for themselves, cannot cook for themselves, cannot clean for themselves. And I realized, like, I haven't slowed down one bit. It may look like that because people go based off of numbers, and that can decrease your value if you don't have 1 million followers or 1 million YouTube subscribers or 1 million views. But what's in you is going to be in you. Don't pay attention to the outside noise. Don't focus on anybody else's. And the crazy part about it is I always feel like people are in like a secret competition with me, and I can always feel it. And I'll start distancing myself because of that. Because times is already hard. So the last thing we need is people attaching themselves to us, trying to make our life even more harder. So when you are going through your hard times, and when you are in separation, like, I have to keep stopping myself. Like, hey, just because this person have aligned themselves with me or family members or whoever, like, that does not mean that I need to give you access to me because I'm in the rebuilding stage, you know, like, and when you are in isolation, that's the word I'm looking for. When you're in isolation during those hard times, it's basically to teach you something. All of that hanging out and going here and going there with other people, like, that's gonna happen, but it has to be on God's timing, and it has to be when you're ready. When you're going through hard times, most people would say that you need to be around people. I'm gonna disagree with that to an extent, and I say to an extent because sometimes when you're around people, when you're going through hard times, people can sense that you're going through hard times, and they will make those hard times worse. Okay, like, now you have to listen to their problems on top of what you're going through. Now you have to wonder if they're in secret competition with you when, like, you're being genuine. But then oftentimes, you know, like, I guess it all depends on you, because some people, when they're going through hard times, they can actually get depressed if they're not really around, you know, people to, like, keep their mind focused and occupied. So just let that decision be on you. But more so, I do feel like whenever we're going through hard times, it's just best for us to be in isolation and focus our attention on God, first and foremost, our children, and just grinding and doing what we have to do. Like, and people may not understand that, and people may feel like you're being weird or selfish, but hey, this is your life, and if somebody gets mad, oh well, the most they can do is tell your business. People gonna be and forgot about it anyways the next week, and even if they bring it up, oh well, just don't allow that person to have access to you anymore. I know, like, a lot of times, like, when I be giving y'all advice, I be speaking for, like, my own self, talking to my own self, and a lot of times when I answer these questions, I never know what I'm even gonna say. I just give y'all the best advice that I can based off of my situations. And this question is a very similar situation to where I've asked other people before in the past, and I will only give you guys advice on what I would do. I would not give you advice to, like, hurt you or harm you in any way, shape, or form. So I hope that y'all take my advice with a grain of salt. And if I've said something that's, like, wrong or offended anybody, don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my brain. Sometimes my heart don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my brain. Sometimes my heart reacts first, and then my brain is slow to catch up. I don't know if that's because I'm sleep deprived, but yeah. So we're gonna get to the next question. What made you start your channel? So on the other platform, I gave them a rundown, and basically letting everybody know that, hey, I used to be a huge fan of some well-known YouTubers, and they used to, like, uplift me a lot when I was in the academy. And at the time, I was married to my second husband, and we would come home from the police academy, and we would grab us something to eat, or we'll cook dinner, and we would be waiting for the next funny prank to drop on those individual channels. And I ended up asking him, did he want to make a YouTube channel? And I told him that I wanted to make a couple channel. And he went back and mentioned it to his mother, and something happened or whatever. I don't know if she told him that it wouldn't be a good idea, but basically it didn't happen. So when the divorce took place, I wanted to step into a different area of my life on top of being a law enforcement officer. I think back then I didn't realize that the two was not gonna mix. And as I'm back then, now since TikTok is a thing, like all you see is police officers all day long. So it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. And I think that if things would have not happened the way it happened like back then there's no telling how far I would have been. But it just kind of seems like, you know, that's why you have to be careful with who you allow in your life. And people will come into your life as if like they're helping you, but that's really not the case. Like people will just attach themselves to you to stay ahead, or like you never know. And I'm like very, very like slow now. And yeah, that's another story, because I think I have somebody asked me a question after, like a little bit after this one, so I'll save that for that question. But just watching them like kind of motivated me, because anybody that has been through the police academy know how hectic it could be. And the one that I was in treated you like you was in the army. So absolutely not. But I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and in my mind I'm like, okay, so they're already, because that's what people do anyways, like they pay people for their publicity, for their audience. And so I was paying these YouTubers so that I wouldn't have to do the hard work. You get what I'm saying? And maybe that's why things have happened the way that it's happened, because God wanted me to get it out the mud, you know. So imagine gaining 64,000 subscribers and attaching yourself to the wrong people, and you still have to do the same amount of hard work as if like you had 0 subscribers, because that's what I'm doing. Like if you guys go see on Lemonade, I have about maybe 64 subscribers. On Facebook, I don't even know if I've hit 4,100 yet, but everything is like taking off slow. And hey, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride on the way there. But I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and I didn't want to put in the work to do it. So I wanted to snatch just a few of their audiences. So, and somehow it turned into pranks, and it was never supposed to have been pranks. And then it turned into a public relationship that was like the furthest thing from my mind, because obviously I had already been married and divorced twice. But you know, things happen. I wouldn't change a thing, to be honest, because I have my kids. I have picked up a lot of wisdom. I picked up a lot of discernment. And one thing about it, if something does not sit right in my spirit, I'm not going to force anything. Like, you could be in my ear all day long. Let's do this. Let's go here. Like, if it doesn't sit right in my spirit, I'm not going to do it. And that's just, like, the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, like, my poor choices have led me to be in the situations that I've been in, my way of thinking and everything else. But to sum it up, I was influenced by other YouTubers, thought that it was fun. Also seen how much money they was making. So I would never get on this platform and say, oh, I just did YouTube because I wanted to be a motivational speaker and it looks fun. Like, yeah, things do look fun. But the amount of time, energy, and effort that it takes to film a video and edit, I don't think that there's not a single person on here that does YouTube for fun. If YouTube was not paying us, everybody's life would not be on this platform like this. Nobody would be on here acting ignorant, or they would have left that on Facebook, because back then Facebook was where all the drama was. So yeah, pros and cons of YouTube. So obviously the obvious one, money, is a pro. Another pro is you get to create good content. You get to maximize your talent. Like, I taught myself how, so I'm paying all these YouTubers money for a collab, but they wasn't teaching me how to edit, how to tag my videos. So I'm like learning this all by myself, okay? And even now I'm still learning like different edits and stuff, because hey, you know, I have my kids channel over there where I want this to be a little bit like spicy over there. Another pro is memories, because we are aging, okay? We're all growing to get older. And one day, baby Drake will be able to look back and see his birth, a real life birth. And then I think he's the only one where I actually had like a real life birth where they would actually let us film. And then Iceland, even though y'all didn't see me push her out, like, you know, it's just like those small details or whatever of me showing the back of her head because I wasn't ready to reveal her to the world because I didn't want everybody trying to figure out who her father was, even though it's obvious who her father is. And like, you know, just those memories, because Dion, I'm looking at Dion now, I'm like, oh my God, this kid is so tall. Like, I remember when he was walking through the house with just a diaper on and, you know, like, going in the cabinets, eating up all the chips or opening up all the chips. Like, some stuff like you don't remember when time go on. Because Cam be like, Mama, do you remember when this happened? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I don't remember nothing like that. And he just be tickled because he remember it and I be wanting to laugh, but I can't remember it. So just creating those memories, those are all, so obviously the money, and it doesn't matter if you make, because the threshold for YouTube is $100. So even if you make a $200, $300 paycheck, like that's still an extra $200, $300 that you could save to your whatever dream that you have. So but I would say this, definitely don't do it for money, because like I mentioned on my other platform, YouTube is like the stock market. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. And do not put all your eggs in one basket. Like, make different kind of content, because people will get so stuck on drama or whatever else, and then like when all that is gone, they won't watch. But I'm very glad that I know for sure that if I drop a video, the most I'll get on it right now is maybe 5,000. And if it's just like a video that's thrown together, maybe 1,000 views. But those are your true supporters. That's what you want. You don't want to have 1 million of subscribers and only getting like 10,000 views. Like, you don't want that. Cons, obviously, being an open book, you definitely have to watch what you put out here, because even though God has forgiven you, even though you've forgiven yourself, people are weird. They always find a way to bring up your past when you're trying to grow, because they don't want you to grow. And they feel like you've done something wrong to them because you made bad choices, which is very, very weird. But don't be an open book like I was or whatever. Like, it's a lot of stuff that I be dying to tell y'all, but I will never tell y'all, because people, they want to hurt you. They want to use your information against you to hurt you. And I wish I could go back to the year June 2020. That's when I had first found out I was pregnant a second time. And I got on here and I was just crying and I was hurt because of the whole resort situation. And it's like, the people during those 3 lives that I done, because I done like 2 lives back to back to back, because I was so hurt and I was so sick and I felt like my time was wasted. If I could go back to that day, because before then all I had was like the police situation, but over time people like was forgetting about it. Like, they would, oh, you the girl that, you know, the police officer, but it was never like, I didn't have like a bad reputation. Like, I've always been private and reserved and just minding my business. And it was that moment that those people on that live made me feel like they had my back. Like, they was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this happened to you. They made me feel like that they had my back. And over time, I started doing more and more lives, because like, okay, I felt safe. Okay, this is my safe zone, because my supporters are going to support me, and not necessarily, they don't have to believe me. It's just that I value everybody's opinion. And but then all of that, as of today, have led into stalking, have led into people coming into my life because I've been an open book, and people that I've connected myself to have been open books. And we have allowed some of the most strangest people in our lives, and they have play the game like they were supposed to, become excellent manipulators. This is why I don't like talking on the phone now, because I feel like when a person have me on the phone, what are you going to do on the phone besides talk? And half the time about stuff that's not even important. Half the time about stuff that you should even be talking about. Like, there's so much out here to do, to grind, and I don't have the luxury of sitting on the phone all day like everybody else, listening to other people's problems. I have 4 kids that's depending on me. So the time I took to listen to you talk about your relationship, your baby daddy, your all of that, like, hey, if we on the phone and I do give you my energy and you come to me for advice, hey, I may slip up and say something back about something that happened in my past, but let that be that. I may give you 2 or 3 hours on the phone if, hey, my day is over with, everybody's in the bed, I can't sleep. We may be on the phone till 12:31 in the morning, but that's not going to be like a norm, because I'm learning the more I talk to people, the more people be asking me my personal business. They want to know my every move. Like, I'm over here in Walmart the other day and somebody wanted to know which Walmart I was in. And I'm like, I hurry up and got him off the phone, because it's none of your business what Walmart I'm at, what HEB I'm at, what park I'm at, because people, they be, I think that I'm a little different. I'm very reserved. I'm realizing that just because we're talking business does not mean that we have to hang out with each other. To separate that, if I met you on business, if like, we should not be hanging out, like, because we become friends and then the friendship don't work. Now the business, or you done something from a business standpoint that I don't like, now we can never be friends because I'm looking at you differently. So just put people in those categories. And I think that I have a hard time telling people that, so I'll brush them off, like, and I'm just like, I'm 31 years old. I pay my own bills. Everything is paid. I pay my own bills. I take care of my children all the time. I have my kids all the time, unless it's, a weekend where I don't have them. And I should not be afraid to say that. But I feel like, in certain situations, I'm just going to have to just say that, because I have too much stuff that I have to do, first of all, and I do not want my kids to be around everybody. I don't want my kids to meet everybody. But Cammy, he said he wasn't like, he don't want to meet other people anymore as of right now, because he's like, what happens every time you hang out? And so I had to take his feelings into consideration, that dang, maybe he have just seen mommy get hurt, not just by relationships, but relationships, but he have seen me run across some friends that really wasn't friends, and every time I get hurt, he gets hurt. Every time he sees me cry, his eyes water a little bit. But I have to be a mother first in all these situations. But it's just the reality of it. Like, you have to be reserved, especially if you're going to do YouTube. And you cannot let other people control your narrative, control your story, control, like, because if you do that, and especially if you're afraid to say no, like, you're gonna be like a puppy. Like, people gonna dog walk you. And that's what has happened to me, because I felt like I didn't have a backbone and people knew it. Or just looking for love in any area. I didn't care if it came from my man, I didn't care if it came from somebody giving me advice or a mentor or whatever, and that's not the way to go at all. So those are some of the pros and cons. Choose wisely. I always say that. Every year the world is becoming more and more strange. Okay, choose wisely. What is one thing you wish you could change in your life? So the question is being asked, I guess, like in the present, like now. One thing in my life that I wish I could change is that's a hard one, because where I'm at right now in my life, I don't think I could really change anything other than my finances. And then, like, everything is changing. Like, I'm rebuilding and working on everything. I'm getting more knowledgeable about stuff. I have a 4-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms. My car is running by the grace of God. My kids is healthy. I guess so from aside of like material stuff, I think that I still need to work on my responses to stupidity, because people are stupid. And